Alright, what's up everybody? We are on Season 4, Episode 8 of Attack on Titan called Assassin's Bullet. I just went for a quick toilet break after finishing the last episode and I'm still a little bit flabbergasted right now. It's just like all of it happened so fast and I could not have imagined that literally having just been introduced to the Warhammer Titan and its abilities and stuff, here we are one episode later and Eren is the new Warhammer Titan now seemingly. I could not have imagined that finally last episode seeing all the other Titans enter the scene like Zeke and Peak and all these other ones, and they're all basically done for, not fully yet, but they're all injured. It's like I just did not expect that the Survey Corps would literally come crashing into this party and fuck the whole place up like that within, you know, basically 1 or 2 episodes or something. And so here we are with me just right now being completely like, what is, again, I mean, it's a pretty typical question, I guess, but like, what's the direction we're about to head into? Now, that being said, of course, what this episode mainly seems to be about for now is that Eren is going to be having a fight with Reiner. Reiner is doing that seemingly as like kind of a last-ditch effort to protect all the people he cares about. I have no idea what that's going to lead into, but again, knowing sort of what Reiner's whole story has been, and this, I mean, it definitely seems like his story is ready to be concluded here. So, what's he going to be like? I would not be surprised if he dies in this episode. And then I wonder, like, well, is he going to die while still achieving to somehow cause for there to be some reason where his people can basically be safe? At least, for example, the kids or whatever, right? Falco and Gabby. Or maybe some of the other Titans will be able to escape. Or because I don't see where this show could go if the Survey Corps is actually able to control all the Titans from here on out. Plus, it wouldn't really, I guess, make sense when I'm thinking about, well, there definitely still has to be like a storyline resolved here between Eren and Zeke. Like, they still need to have a conversation for sure and talk certain things out and you know, reminisce about the great memories that they have together with their dad. But yeah, I don't know. It's like where do we go from here is the big question for now. Let's just dive into the episode, but of course I should make sure to remind you that the next 8 episodes are already up over on Patreon. We will actually be on Season 4, Episode 16, so I think that is the final episode of the first half of Season 4 there, which means we're about to kick off the second half, which of course is what everybody has been watching in recent times. So yeah, that's very exciting, of course. You can check out all those episodes, the next 8, right now over on Patreon, linked on top of the description, along with full-length reactions and OVAs. But for now, let's dive into Season 4, Episode 8 of Attack on Titan. Eren is still holding Porco as well. Well, now not anymore. Don't tell me this fight ends up being the same as last episode, where like it's just over way too quick. What? So they're ready to go now? They just wanted the Warhammer Titan, maybe? Wow, they're just abandoning them here in the misery. So their plan was just to get the Warhammer Titan? I guess I hadn't even considered that. Just hanging on in regular human form. With his raincoat. Dude, this is so... Like, this should be a happy moment or something. Like, oh, they're reunited here. And it feels so uncomfortable. Well, at least Levi hasn't changed. Okay. What? Was he not supposed to go here? Oh my god, did Aaron set up this plan himself? What the hell? So Aaron just fucking went rogue or something? So did he want the Warhammer maybe, or did he just want to attack them, or what was his reason? So that makes me wonder if the others, after learning about the whole situation, they just wanted to basically preserve what the king already wanted to preserve all this time. Just go with the pacifist approach. So now Flock and Aaron are like buddies? With the same ideals? Yeah, these guys are just their own little friend group. Wait, why? Oh my god. Sasha wants a beer that you can eat. Just because Sasha likes food. Yeah. Oh my god. That's so brutal. Yeah, it must be crazy to realize that these people that attacked you are basically your own people in a way. Was he actually just like full on kill? Yeah, he realizes that it's... Yeah. No, he just heard. What was she saying just now? Pics or it didn't happen, or? Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, I get a perspective though, nonetheless. But I also get that Falco feels differently now. I mean, this Gabby that we're seeing right now, it's basically like Aaron back in episode 1 in some way. Damn. Wait, can't you just hang on to that? I mean, that seems like a suicide mission though, but okay. He's gonna end up going with her for sure, but... She's actually doing this. He grabbed on, right? Yeah. What are they gonna do though? Like what? Are they gonna just hold him captive or something now? When they find this out? Yo. Yo! No fucking way she killed Sasha. Dude. Oh my god, man. What the fuck? Yeah, this is it, right? This really will just mark the point where everything in this show basically goes to shit. Not in a literal way, but I just mean that, like, there's just gonna be casualties. Oh wow. A little fake beard. Oh, they weren't even there. Oh, okay. Wait, so they're like in a closed off pod. Oh wow. They're about to see that Sasha died as well. I was gonna say, he wasn't actually dead. That's crazy, they got him though. Fucking hell. Oh, what a fucking genius line. What the fuck? Where is this going, man? Yeah, I mean, I'd figured that. That's the cost of it. Oh my god. Man, I don't know what to say, guys. So honestly, I found that with all these crazy events happening in this episode, I was like near the end there, I was starting to notice with myself, in all honesty, right, that I was sort of starting to zone out a little bit, and some of these lines weren't even processing in my head anymore. And I'm like, wait, am I getting this right? Because I noticed that already, the way that Zeke was contributing to that conversation at the very end, saying that like, well, at least our now we have the founding titan and somebody of royal blood. Now at least the sacrifices will be worth it because they'll give Eldians more freedom in the end. And I'm like, wait, so is Zeke basically now on the same side as Eren then? And yes, that is literally what it is. I mean, I literally then rewatched the final scene here at the end, the final 5 minutes, realizing that like, because that's what Levi talked about as well, right? Well, now Zeke had to throw a bit more rocks at us than planned because Peak and Galliot, Porker, whatever, they made it out of the trap. So they ended up joining the party as well. And so that's why Zeke had to act up that he wanted to fight them more or whatever. And so that's why he had to do more damage or whatever. So like, so this is crazy. Because, yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's so much happening all at once, because at the same time I'm like realizing as this episode is playing and stuff, or I'm thinking about it in my head, like, oh, so that's the part that I got wrong about. For example, I was thinking like, wait, that undercover soldier, was that Armin? I remember thinking that already back in the episode where we first saw that soldier. But now it's this, and I already noticed that like it wasn't really Armin's voice. And now they apparently have this like other female soldier among the survey corps, who apparently that's the one that went undercover, and Armin was doing his own thing, because that's also the thing that I noticed, like Armin approached them in last episode, I think it was, in that little boat or whatever all of a sudden, right? Which didn't make sense, because we saw that one soldier had laid the traps and was actually there in Marley at that time or whatever. So I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the fact that Sasha just got shot and is probably dying. I'm thinking about all the stuff that's happening with these kids and like, where are we going to go now? And then at the same time, there's this conversation with Zeke happening, and I'm realizing that Eren basically went rogue and had his own plan all this time and wasn't really involving the other people with that. He just forced the entire Survey Corps to go along with his plan by doing what he did. And it's just like, once again, I mean, you know, that's the thing that I know about this show. It's just a lot to take in. And so I apologize if my reaction here wasn't, the best it could have been the first time watching, because I did very much realize it about myself. Like, damn, I don't even know if I'm really taking in everything at this point anymore. Okay, so yeah, I mean, obviously it almost sucks to have to bring all these things up, because then at the same time you're realizing that obviously sort of the dominating scene in this entire episode that should be talked about is the fact that Sasha actually died. Yeah, I mean, sucks. It's like, this is also, again, just a very cold realization that I had throughout this episode, and I mentioned it there as well. Like, this is just what this show is turning into now. You know, it's like, at this point, there's no turning back. I'd always sort of noticed, and I would almost say that, like, this is maybe a complaint that I kind of had about Attack on Titan early on. But I'm realizing right now how that was sort of not justified, because I get it now. I'd always noticed how, like, people actually had told me early on that there is no damn, what's the expression for that? I forget that, but like there basically anybody can die is what people told me or whatever. Like there's no well, I mean, there was like plot armor at many points in this show already, right, or something. But like, people told me, I think it was in like episode 5 when Eren died for the first time. Like, yeah, basically any character has the potential of dying in this show or something. Like that's what people have basically prepared me for. And I'm like, I'm watching the entire show honestly, and I'm noticing how very rarely main characters are dying. I'm sort of almost surprised that like every single time they end on these cliffhangers and characters still end up making it through or whatever, right? Of course, now at this point with like season 3 behind us and stuff, yes, some characters did actually die, but still, for the amount of risk these characters are putting them through, relatively few casualties are happening, at least in terms of the main characters that we're always following around, right? But I'm noticing right now that like, well, this 4th season may as well kind of go in that direction now, because this is everything we've been working up towards, and now the consequences are gonna happen for every, like this is where we start getting into like, okay, the tragedies of war. And again, that seems very much to be sort of a theme that the show has been delving into now ever since the That Day episode, explaining the entire situation and the huge war that is taking place between Eldians and the Marlians, and perhaps also you could say all the other people in the world. This is always what it had been. And it was actually the king that had sort of, for now, been able to play pacifist and preserve the situation the way it was without relatively few, casualties taking place. Yes, you still had an unfortunate situation with, for example, Eldians back in Mali that were now in these camps and stuff, but like, I guess you could say at least there wasn't all-out war taking place necessarily as often, or... it's like, yeah, it's it's funny because I realize now that it might have been quite a noble cause. Whereas back in season 3, you just couldn't understand it, right? And you're like, man, screw this preserving the status quo or whatever that he kept talking about. And it's like now you're realizing like, yeah, well, this is what he was trying to prevent. And we're seeing that literally play out in front of us with the death of Sasha here as like a first sort of sign of what's to come. That's the way I view it. Like, Sasha is just the first. The first of, I think, more to come for sure. Yeah, man. I mean, other than that, what can I really say? The kids, obviously, Gabby and Falco are now on board. Like I said, Zeke is there, and so I'm actually fascinated to see what conversation Eren is about to have with him. And if they're gonna be completely on the same page here then or something. Because I mean, they now do seem to have basically the same goal of like, it's just about the Eldians to Zeke and to Eren. It's just about the Eldians and securing their freedom in the end, I guess, and fucking everybody else over. The Survey Corps didn't seem to agree with that, and then I wonder, like, well, do they not agree with that ideal, or do they not agree with the way it was executed for now or something? That's still what we have to find out, of course. What were their actual intentions leading up to all of this. I guess for now we will actually be going back, and that'll be super interesting. We will be going back to the walls, I guess. And I was wondering, like, are we still going to see Historia then, for example, or something, right? And like, I guess kind of, again, like seeing how the people in the walls will deal with knowing the truth now and stuff. This is, I guess I now feel like I have a bit more of a clearer understanding of like, okay, where are we going to head into for now? Again, like maybe the remainder of this first half or something, or at least a couple episodes for now. They'll probably be a bit more quiet after this action-packed couple of episodes here. And they'll be about figuring out, like, what do we do from here? Because that's obviously still a big question. Knowing the truth and having all the information, where do you go from here, right? This show is something else. Once again, I keep saying it, and it's like, man, the thing that I'm realizing more and more is that just like we're literally seeing here how all of this could just basically, there was only one thing this was ever going to end up in, and that's just tragedy. And I feel like that's what's coming. That's the thing. I feel like I still don't know what the full ending would be or something, or you know, if they're gonna be able to find some type of resolution ultimately. I just know that there's gonna be a bunch of tragedy leading up to it. And that's what this episode really ended up making clear to me. So for now, I hope, yeah, that basically sums up my thoughts for this episode. Of course, the next 8 episodes are already up over on Patreon, so you can actually see all my reactions up until the end of the first half of Season 4. Right now, go check that out. It's linked on top of the description, along with full-length reactions and OVAs. But for now, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you back in the next one.